Okay, so I guess I needed to make a video that's like going over very succinctly what I've done. It's like so astounding and so amazing, and why it's so much better than what everybody else out there is doing. Like people like John Vervaeke, or like blind people stumbling around in the dark trying to fix a problem about which they haven't really even given any semblance of thought to. And you know, why is it that I'm so resentful for not getting any attention? And right. So what have I done exactly? And that's what I've done is I've created a corrective lens for noetic vision. What is noetic vision, you might ask? Noetic vision is that which you look at your looking. Right? Your noetic vision, people have called it attention. People have called it awareness. It's, you know, what do you look at your thoughts with? What do you look at the whatever with? All, like, so many people, like, it's very therapeutic just to have people even like gain any amount of control over the noetic vision, or amount over the attention. To gain control over your attention is a massive boost in whatever, right? Freedom. Right? So your noetic vision is just like any other sense organ, in that if it's clear or not, it's because the sense organ is functioning correctly. Right? Like if your eye is clouded, if you don't have good eyesight, it's because the eye is the wrong shape, or you've got something covering it, like cataracts. Right? If it's the wrong shape or you've got cataracts, the stuff that you see is going to be blurry and hazy. Noetic vision is, how do we get it? Okay, pay attention to your left foot. All right, now pay attention to the periphery of your right eye, the peripheral vision. Okay, now pay attention to your next thought. Right? That's your noetic vision looking around. Just like you can direct your eyeball at different objects out here, you can direct your noetic vision to all sorts of different things. Listen to the hearing, right? That's your noetic vision moving around. Okay, now listen to all of it. Left foot, periphery of right eye vision, next thought, and your hearing, all at the same time, right? So the noetic vision can laser in, or it can right? So it doesn't have a direct analogy to any of the senses necessarily, but it's very analogous to the senses. It's basically metavision. This starts to overlap with things like meaning and purpose and stuff like that. I'll get into that in a little bit. But your noetic vision is as dependent on the shape and the structure of your body as your eyesight is dependent on the shape and the structure of your eye. And better yet, I would say your noetic vision is dependent on the shape and the structure of your metabolism, the shape, or what you would call the shape and the structure of your breath, just like your vision is dependent on the shape and the structure of your eye. So if your noetic vision is cloudy, even if your eye is giving you a good image, even if your ears are giving you good sounds, even if your brain is giving you good thoughts, if your noetic vision is cloudy, your ability to look at those things will become distorted, right? Like right now, I'm going to compromise, and just let me do it. I'm going to compromise your eyesight. I want you to feel the sensation in your left big toe as much as you can. Put all of your attention on your left big toe. Put all of the attention on your left big toe. Put all of the attention on your left big toe, and I guarantee you what you were seeing in the upper right quadrant of your right eye's vision, you weren't taking that in very well. Now pay attention to the upper right quadrant of your right eye. Look at all of the information that's there. Without me going, look at your left toe, 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 your noetic vision is clearer for that upper right eye quadrant. Right? And so, just like before my discovery, you were kind of like whatever your eyesight was with, unless you had some cool eye exercises, you went out and stared at the moon or something like that. If your eye's vision was compromised, you were kind of screwed. right? With the invention of, with the understanding of optics, with the understanding of how the eye works, right? With the understanding of how attention flows, just like you can understand how light moves, if you understand how light moves, you can craft a lens, or you can burn away the cataracts, you can burn away the things blocking the eyesight, and you can restore vision with a corrective lens or with a corrective surgery or with corrective exercises. And then your vision can be restored. Your noetic vision is just like this. When you read a profound spiritual book or something like that and it makes you see the world clearly, it's restoring your noetic vision. It's restructuring your thoughts, it's restructuring your metabolism, it's restructuring your breath so that the thing that you look at your sensations and your thoughts and your feelings with becomes a better sense organ. As it becomes a better sense organ, you see more things, right? When people do psychedelics, I don't know if it corrects the breath, but it definitely alters it. You can like if you understand the flow of energy, you can do things like making telescopes, right? You can make binoculars, and you can make binoculars that like screw up your peripheral vision. But when you look through the binoculars, you can go, whoa, look at all that. And the same thing with a microscope. No peripheral vision. And if you did something to yourself to where you were stuck with binocular vision, or you were stuck into a microscope, you would die. So in terms of its functional utility, you can't say that any of these strong corrective techniques, such as psychedelics or microscopy, it's not a good survival mechanism. If you understand it, it's definitely a good research apparatus. If you can turn it off and on, microscopes are very useful. And the same thing with noetic vision. If you have something that enhances the noetic vision, very, very useful. But the default state is the most useful for like just getting around. So you have to go, so I figured out a way to correct noetic vision so that the sight that I look at my sensations with, the sight that I look at my senses with, is I can correct it to absolute normal. And not only that, I can actually distort it, I can focus it so that I can see things the same way that a microscope sees things, or I can expand it, or I can focus in the way that a telescope sees stuff, right? And by doing this, by clearing my noetic vision, I was able to discover that the noetic vision the sense organ of the noetic vision is water. It's the metabolism, it's the breath. This is not anything new, exactly, because you can be told this, you can be told what correct noetic vision looks like. Like correct noetic vision, you will understand the importance and the centrality of Christ in your being. You will understand the importance and the centrality of the Godhead in your awareness. You will understand that your awareness is a fragment of God's awareness. That's what happens when you have correct noetic vision. Things like scriptures, things like religion, things like whatever, are so that people who are blind, people whose noetic vision is blind, if your noetic vision is blind, then the things that are obvious to you are not obvious. And this is because things like trauma, memories, all sorts of stuff can get in the way of your noetic sight and block what you're able to see. Addiction, social media addictions, whatever, it blocks all of that stuff and you don't get any of the sensation. It's not exactly sensation, but it's the sight that you look at sensation with. So the thing that views all this is the breath, your life, your metabolism. Where is your metabolism? Your metabolism is in your water. If you correct your breath, your noetic vision will be corrected. So doing nothing, since water just kind of naturally goes to normal, And the only way that water is agitated, right? This is the old Zen proverb of like, oh, how do I see the moon or whatever? How do I get correct sight for the world? Stop disturbing the water. Stop disturbing the water. Right? Stop doing that. Stop doing the neurosis. And then, how do I stop? How do I just stop? Just stop. Just stop. Stay still for long enough and your noetic vision will restore itself naturally, because it is the natural state. It is water. It will restore itself as naturally as water will restore itself to flat. If you don't agitate the water will become flat and smooth. The water is the thing that's lensing, right? So you're a big body of water with a ridiculous amount of surface area, and the shape of that surface area around your DNA, around your nerves, around your organs, around your brain, around your cerebral spinal fluid, all of that stuff is water with surface, and the shape of that surface determines your noetic sight. And in fact, all perception, even normal sensation, it's all noetic vision. It's all noetic vision, but it's fractal. Noetic vision is fractal, the same way that you can look at the ocean and there's tiny little disturbances like this, and then there's waves like that, and then there's swells. There's big sets of waves that come in. What's a big set of waves? When a big set of waves come in, that's because a big wave has come in, so all the little waves on the big wave hit harder. So you can have tiny little disturbances, then you have the normal waves, then you have the big swells like that, and then you have the tide. Really big wave that goes by, really slow. High tide and low tide is just a big meta wave. So when you breathe underwater through a snorkel, several feet underwater, or just a little bit underwater, just underwater totally, so just a couple feet of snorkel, the water pressure squeezes you, and it applies dampening pressure to you. The water itself is stillness. The water itself is stillness. The stillness responds to the agitation, but the water itself is stillness. So when you breathe underwater through a snorkel, that stillness presses in on you, and it restores the shape of your body to where your noetic vision is instantaneously corrected. If you just jump in water naturally, go get in the ocean, and instantly, because of the water pressing on you, the water's restoring your noetic vision, you're suddenly able to put your attention 20 meters away, and you'll be able to feel waves 10 or 20 meters away. Outside of the water, without the water restoring your noetic vision, you cannot feel things 10 or 20 meters away from you, unless you're a very gifted person, unless you're a very talented person, unless you're skilled, unless your body water has been shaped in a particular way by your life experiences in your body and your genetic history and yada, 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 and the beliefs that you were given. But just breathing underwater, allowing the water to press in on you, allowing the water to silence you, will correct your noetic vision. My words right now, if you listen to them, if you take them in, if you contemplate them, it will correct your noetic vision. You will see things more clearly. But that's all I've done. Like with my corrected noetic vision is where all of my YouTube videos come from. All the random ass insights that I have into everything. The reason I can see everything so clearly is because of this technique that I have developed, which corrects your noetic sight. The reason that I know that it's water is because I have corrected my noetic sight. The reason that I'm able to identify the role that Christ has in the world is because of my corrected noetic vision. The reason that baptism is the entry into truth is the same reason it corrects noetic vision. And so the things that we call narrative, the things that we call story or whatever, is these meta waves. If you get on a different narrative, you have a different motivation behind all of your actions. There's different currents in your body water. If you're an atheist or whatever, you have different currents in your body water than if you're a deist. These currents, these waves in your body water, also determine the shape of your body water, and the shape of your body water determines the energy of awareness. It's hard to have a word for it, because like the eye works off of light waves, electromagnetic waves. Sound works off of acoustic waves, right? What sort of wave, what's going on how are you aware of awareness? What sensation is that? You can be like, I'm aware of my hand, I'm aware of both hands, I can look at my left hand. Like, what's going on there? Right? You're taking in, but there's energy coming in from all ways. What are you looking at it with? It's linguistically difficult. It's linguistically difficult because language is a pattern in it. Language cannot encompass it. Language is happening inside of it. So you can't use language to describe it very well, unless you use water analogies. Because water is awareness speaking itself. When awareness is being what it is, it's water. Water over there. Look at the water. Look at the helicopter. Whee! And so when people are talking about like the meaning crisis and all that stuff, it's an epidemic of blindness. The only reason there's a meaning crisis is because people are blind. So taking a blind person and giving them different beliefs or giving them different shit to think about doesn't do very much, right? It's the still water causes still water. So you need gurus that are like still, people that are it's that whole game. That's why you need a realized teacher to help you do this. But I figured all this out. I corrected my noetic vision before I really understood this. The corrected noetic vision, I started looking at the vision itself with the improved eyesight. And so then all of this is like so stupidly obvious to me. And I'm not exactly trying to share like, oh, look at what I know. Like, hey, use me as a crutch, read all my books, listen to all my videos. It's not really my like goal here. The goal here is to get people to actually be interested in the water. Because the water is the thing observing the sensation. The water is the thing observing the sights. What's in the water of the body? Your breath, your metabolism. What's changing the shape of the water? Well, it's your body structure, right? That's one aspect of the structure. The way your nerves are going. The other part of the structure is like, what's the charges in the structure? What's the polarity? What's the metabolism? Where are the ions? Where's the positive ions? Where's the negative ions? Where's the current flow? All that stuff's important too. But with this corrected noetic vision, if everyone was to correct their vision, you don't need all these devices. You don't need all this like salvation from the meaning crisis. You don't need a religion that's not a religion. You don't need any of this other crap. If you just correct the eyesight. Everyone's been having crutches for I don't know how long. Crutches instead of like, how do we heal the leg? And so I don't even know how to be like, to be honest, it's like it's the fact that this is not interesting to anybody. To me is indication that people are not human. Anybody that's a real human, this should be the most fascinating thing in the world. Just like to a person, like cell phones are very interesting. To a dumb animal, a cell phone is just like a right? To a dumb animal, water is just drink it, right? So the average person is just a stupid, dumb animal, just like cattle. And you're treated as cattle by those who have vision. The elites, they have vision, they have sight. They know how to do the rituals and the blah, blah, blah to like get it to work. And then all the blind people are just there to do the work. You're just stupid animals. And to be honest, I agree with them. Because anybody who's not just a retarded animal, this is a very, very fascinating discovery that I've made. You know?